Archaic Records.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It is Archaic Records here with you again. My name is Jamie, coming at you from Nashville, Tennessee. And today we're going to take a quick look at the brand new record, 10 tracks, no bullshit, by Dutch working class heroes, the powerful and almighty Evil Conduct. Now, I would say, apart from all of the bonfire of teenagers drama, which we were forced to endure throughout 2023, this was easily my most anticipated record of the year. Evil Conduct is a band that I began listening to back in 1999 when I discovered them on a compilation. And really from that point moving forward, I have been a diehard, lifelong fan to the point where I would say that this band is easily in my top 10 favorite of all time. You know, for almost 40 years, these guys have consistently pumped out the groceries with straightforward, fist down your throat, boot to the nuts, street punk rock and roll. I've always felt a very strong connection to this band. I think for me, there's certain artists that you just have a certain kinship with. Even when I try to describe to people how much I love Evil Conduct, sometimes it comes across sounding like inarticulate garbage because it is hard for me to put it into words. But when it comes down to it, for me, it's all about the songs. There's just something in the way that they see the world that I relate to. And the way that they express it in their music is something that has always resonated with me. I mean, there's blood in the music. This is not tinsel. This is the real shit as far as I'm concerned. This is punk rock. And when they are on their game, I would argue that there really isn't anybody much better than Evil Conduct. Now, of course, as most of you probably know, their singer Han, when he isn't making some of the greatest punk rock music in the world, he is creating some of the coolest and most beautiful tattoos that I have ever seen. It kind of makes you jealous, right? It kind of makes you hate the guy a little bit, that he has, so much talent. Not only is he in one of the top 10 greatest bands of all time, he just happens to be this amazing tattoo artist. I'm just kidding. I don't hate you. I love you. I have all the respect in the world for you. Actually, it is one of my goals in life before the day comes when I purchase the farm that I actually want to go over to his tattoo shop and get tattooed by him. Now, I usually make the contention that I should not meet a lot of these bands that I love because I'm always afraid of embarrassing myself. I'm afraid of having an artist I admire walk into the room and right before their eyes, I am just reduced to this giant puddle of slush. But that being said, it is one of my dreams in life and goals to end up going over to the Netherlands and getting tattooed by Han from Evil Conduct. I just think that would be one of the coolest experiences. As somebody who has been a tattoo collector most of my adult life and somebody who has been an avid fan of his band, I think that would be a very cool experience. Now, I'd have to make sure I was on my best behavior. I'd have to, as I was getting tattooed by him, I'd have to put on my best cool tattoo guy face. I'd be like, yeah, it doesn't hurt at all. But inside I'd be all, but outwardly you have to if you're a tattoo collector, as I am, and have been at least in my adult life, even the ones that hurt, there's a face, I don't care, man. I'm tattooed by soul for all I care. Anyway, man, let's get into this record a little bit. Like I said, this record just came out today on Randale Records. I've already listened to it 3 times, and I don't plan on stopping anytime soon. Anyway, the first song on this record is a song called Boots on Your Feet. This is a song about, at least the way I interpret it is, this is a song about being an outcast, feeling like an alien among your own kind, someone who is disregarded by the norms of society, In my life, this song kind of makes me think about where I work. I work in a very affluent, very exclusive suburb of Nashville. I was talking to a customer yesterday, a client yesterday, talking about how the zip code in which I work is the most exclusive in the entire state of Tennessee. And this was somebody who I was talking to that I believe comes from a very exclusive, or lives a fairly exclusive life. And he corrected me and said it was one of the most exclusive in the entire country. And every time I go to work, which, I don't hate what I do, I don't dislike where I work, but every time I enter that zip code, I definitely feel like an outsider. I definitely feel like somebody who is unwelcomed within that sort of circle of people. So for me, that's kind of how I relate to this song. This has kind of been a reoccurring theme throughout Evil Conduct's career. I think that they really articulate that feeling well. The song, I think, ends optimistically by saying, you know what, find your community. There are like-minded people out there which you can relate to, people that you can find commonality with. So I actually think that the song has a relatively optimistic message, but when I hear the lyrics talking about being an outcast and sort of alienated from society, I sort of feel that way in society in general most of the time, but especially when I'm in the suburb where I earn my living, I guess, if you will. Anyway, the next song after that is a song called Lost Time, another song I absolutely love. This song is about getting older. Today is the youngest you'll ever be again. There's no such thing as the good old days. Live for today. Everybody's got a number in the lottery. When your number comes up, that's the end of your story. You don't know if it's going to be today, tomorrow, 10 years from now, or 80 years from now. So live each day as if today. I really love I love the concept of the idea that there really is no such thing as the good old days. Sometimes I'm somebody myself, as I'm reaching middle age, that, sometimes you think back about when you were younger and, oh man, things were so much better then, but in some cases they were. But I really like the concept of the idea of trying to at least keep that in your mind, that there really is no such thing as the good old days. Each day pretty much is all you have. You're only guaranteed the next breath. You're not even guaranteed the next breath. So go out and make the most of it. I love this song. The next song after that is a song called Stand Accused. Kind of another song sort of in the same vein kind of as Boots on Your Feet. This song is about being indicted by society based on how you look and live your life. But looking around at the world around you, realizing you're being persecuted by those who live in this sort of normie society isn't really a bad thing. One thing I think that's very interesting about our society now is, its relationship with conformity. I think conformity in our society now in 2023 has almost become like a religion with people. Now, I live down in the southeastern portion of the United States. This isn't necessarily the case in, Nashville proper. But where I live, it is definitely very Trumpy. It is very evangelical. It is very sort of pro-life, right-wing. And the people that live down here, that's what they basically want you to be. That's who they are. That's what they want to be around. They don't want to hear differing opinions. They don't want to hear diversity of thought. And it's the same exact thing as where I came from, which is the San Francisco Bay Area, where you may be on the exact, complete opposite end of the political spectrum, but at the same time, people out there within that sort of, value system, they expect conformity. You have to adhere to their political opinions. You have to adhere to the way they see the world. They don't want to hear any differing opinion. They don't want to hear any diversity of thought. So it's one thing I find interesting is that at least in this country, and I can only speak for the United States, but it seems to me, it's my observation that on the right and on the left in this country, There's a lot of things they don't have in common. But one thing that they do have in common is their the demand that you conform to everything that they believe in. They don't want to hear any sort of differing opinion. I think it's really a strange place we live at now in our society where conformity is just like, it's almost a religion. If you dare, have a differing mindset or a differing opinion to those people you live around, you're really outcasted. And, especially nowadays, with things like social media and stuff, I mean, people can really go after your livelihood. They can really out you if they want to through things like cancel culture. Now, I don't know. It seems like things like cancel culture kind of dying off, hopefully. I don't know. But it scares me. This obsession we have with conformity in our society really scares me. I mean, look at Taylor Swift. I've already explained that to you once. The next song is a song called Hey Ho. I love this song. To me, this song paints a picture of somebody that is a prisoner of their own misery and bitterness. To me, this song reminds me of somebody I have very close in my life who resembles that sort of lifestyle. He's the type of person you approach. You say, "Hey, Justin, what's cooking, man?" And his response is something to the effect of, "I just want to live long enough to piss on my mom's grave." And your only response is like, "Yeah, you're fun, man." Anyway, on a serious note, I love the message of this song. Bitterness is just like something that's not worth wasting your time with. I am somebody who made a conscious decision several years ago to sort of let go of as much of my bitterness and negativity as I possibly could. Now, I'm somebody, without going into detail or too much detail, I'm somebody who has experienced a fair amount of trauma in my life, but I came to the conclusion that carrying around a bunch of negativity and bitterness was only harming myself. I think if you're bitter towards the actions, the actions of somebody else that may have caused you harm or distress or pain or any sort of suffering, carrying around that baggage does you a lot more harm than it does them. I guarantee you most of the people that you might be bitter at or angry at, they have no idea, and they probably don't care. Either way, I think you're better off, coming to terms with it, letting it go. I remember when I made the conscious decision to sort of become a less angry, bitter person. Now, I'm not talking about like angry, like punk rock, like, yeah, because I'm all in favor of that. But I'm talking about ugliness. I'm talking about bitterness. I'm talking about things that takes years off your life, contributes to, bad habits. You don't want to be the guy who ends up in his 50s in his backyard, yelling at the sky. His neighbor's like, you think Bob's all right over there? So I really love the message in that song. I love that song, Hey Ho. If you're struggling with bitterness, I recommend you try to let it, wash off of you for no other reason to make yourself feel better, honestly, man. The next song after that is called Nothing But Lies. I love this song. This is a song about the transparency of liars and sort of the absurdity of the liar not realizing their own transparency. I really love this song. Man, this whole album has just got the goods. The next song after that is a song called City Life. Another song I love. This song tells a story of very violent urban crime. Now, I don't really know anything about the general area where the guys in Evil Conduct live. I know they're kind of spread throughout Europe at this point in time. But if you think that Europe has a violent crime problem, which I'm not saying it doesn't, but I've always heard that Europe is much safer than we are over here in the United States. If you're sort of scared walking through urban Europe, I might recommend that you avoid hanging out in places like Memphis and Oakland and New Orleans. Just a little travel advice from your good friend Jamie here at Archaic Records. Anyway, the next song after that is one of my favorite songs on the record. It is called Because of You. I really love this song. I love the lyrics. I love the part where it says, "Because of you, I found a place like home." To me, this song makes me think of a couple different people. First off, it makes me think of my wife. Her and I have both been through a fair amount of trauma in our lives. I would say that she has been through significantly more than I have been, especially over the past few years. And one thing that we have worked very hard for in our lives. Now, our relationship is not perfect. No relationship is perfect. But one thing that we have worked very hard on in our lives is to make our home a safe place, a pleasant place to come home to at the end of the day. A place where when you shut the door, you can leave that world and all of its bullshit on the stoop behind you. And something that we are both very proud of. When you come into our home, we both know that we are loved, we are taken care of. And when I say safe place, I don't mean like a safe space, like a delicate zoomer. But this is something that my wife and I have both worked very hard on. This is something that we both take a lot of pride in. And this is something that, we don't really allow a lot of chaos through our front door. Like I said, our relationship isn't perfect. I haven't ever seen one that is. But that's what this song makes me think of, is the home that my wife and I have created for ourselves, which is really actually quite a lovely place to come to at the end of the day. The other thing this song really makes me think of is my best friend Tim. I assume that this song is partially written about the relationship between Ray and Han in the band Evil Conduct, two guys who are lifelong best friends. It makes me think of my friend Tim, who I met in 7th grade at Paradise Intermediate School. And although Tim and I have definitely suffered through some choppy seas in our day, I wouldn't trade our friendship for anything. He and I have been through hell and back as friends, and we are still here standing side by side, probably with a stronger and closer relationship than we've ever had. So that's what I think of when I think of the song Because of You. One of my favorite songs on the record. And dare I say that this is showing a rare shown sappy side of Han in his songwriting. But I love it. The next song is a song called Cost of Living. I think this song is pretty self-explanatory. It talks about, the impact inflation is having on the working class. It talks about how gross it is to hear corporations boast about, record profits to their stockholders when sometimes, those record profits come at a cost. And, especially, recently here where we live, one of our local grocery chains is called Kroger. Last year, Kroger did the same thing. They boasted about record profits to their shareholders. But, sometimes when, but at what cost? Sometimes these things have a cost. Sometimes it's a body count. People can't even afford their groceries anymore. I love this song. It's relatively self-explanatory. But one thing I love about Evil Conduct is that they always take on political issues. They always stand up for the working class. That is their whole bag. The next song after that is a song called Older Than Dirt. Pretty self-explanatory also. We're all getting older. I love the lyric, older than dirt, everything hurts. I can relate to that, friends. And the last song on this record, the album closes out with another gem, in my opinion. This song is called Stick to Your Guns. This song I find to be very empowering, about sticking to yourself, not really caring what society thinks. Be yourself at any cost. I mean, really, fuck society, right? I mean, have you looked around lately? I mean, I guarantee if you left your house right now, 85% of the people you'd see out there would be wearing their pajamas. am I really seeking the approval, of the guy at the market the 45-year-old guy in his Pokemon jammies? The guy pushing $4 with Cheetos snow all over the t-shirt that he hasn't changed in 2 weeks. Is that who I'm out to impress? I mean, honestly, I don't think so. So I love the message in this song. It's very empowering. Be yourself. Who cares about what those other people do? I mean, honestly, like I said, 85% of the people you see out in public now are in their pajamas. I mean, I don't know what COVID did in other parts of the world, but I mean, COVID did a number in this country, at least in my opinion. Anyway, man, you need to check out this record. You need to buy this record. You need to own this record. This, to me, is one of the best records of 2023. Like I said, this was probably my most anticipated record of the year, apart from all of the Morrissey Bonfire of Teenagers drama. This one, and like I said, I did a review a couple days ago talking about the new Dead Milkmen album. That was another album I was very excited about. Of course, I mentioned I thought that the Dead Milkmen album, fell a little bit flat to me. To me, this record, 10 tracks, no bullshit, lives up to all of my expectations. Quite honestly, even exceeds them. I'm to the point to where I don't even know if this band is even capable of putting out crap. I mean, they're just too good. And quite frankly, I don't think that they would. I don't think that these guys would send anything out into the marketplace that did not meet their standard. And I think that these guys have an incredibly tight quality control seal. I think that's one of the things that makes them basically kings of the working class is their work ethic. The quality of music that they have been putting out for almost 40, well, it will be 40 years next year. Anyway, that's crazy. Anyway, man, thank you so much for checking out this video. If I have to give, this album gets an A. Straight up A. This is one of the best records of 2023. I'm going to listen to it all day today, tomorrow, next day, next week, next month. I guarantee you that. Anyway, man, thank you so much for checking out this video. This is Archaic Records. My name is Jamie, coming at you from Nashville, Tennessee. Be sure and go out and support your local record store. Check back every week for Morrissey Monday, a weekly celebration of all things Morrissey and the Smiths, as well as other record content throughout the week. Listen to the New Evil Conduct. Buy the New Evil Conduct. Support this band. They are amaze balls. And for the love of God, if you have to leave your house and go to the market today, get dressed. Nobody wants to see you in your Pokemon jammies. All right, man. Until next time, my friends. I'll talk to you then.